been a congressman for a while now. 4 years? 5 years?
5 years.
Time flies.
It does.
From the Illinois 13th Congressional District, Republican Congressman Rodney Davis. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You make some news today. You signed a letter sending to Donald Trump that you were advising him against pardoning former Illinois Governor Blagojevich.
Yeah,
Why?
The discussion was that he wouldn't pardon him, but he would commute the sentence.
Right.
I worked in the Springfield area during Rod Blagojevich's term, and I saw a lot of people just get, fired from their job. They had to sue to get the job back because it was illegally done. Rod Blagojevich wants the same compassion that he never showed to a lot of people that I personally know that caused them heartache, caused them family issues, and actually personally caused them financial problems too.
But, I mean, tit for tat, isn't there 14 years? It's a long time to be in jail.
It is a long time to be in jail.
For something he threatened to do, right? He wasn't caught doing it. He was threatening to sell the seat.
Yeah, I think there were a lot more crimes that Rod Blagojevich committed that he was not charged for.
True.
It was not part of this. So I don't have a lot of compassion for Rod and what he did as governor and how he treated people. And I just think it's a terrible message to send when there are some good people. I'm for criminal justice reform. I think it's terrible to put petty drug offenders in jail longer than Jared, the subway guy, who's a pedophile.
Right.
Just because Jared has money, has a better lawyer, doesn't mean he shouldn't spend the time in prison where he deserves to be. You see the case out of Tennessee, a gentleman who served his time, drug offense, got out of jail, made a great person of himself, and because of a technicality, just got put back in. Pardon that guy.
Right. Well, we can argue all around. I just find it, interesting that I'm on Donald Trump's side and you're not on Donald Trump's side. So with that being said, we'll move on. Net neutrality. It's a big topic. I was talking to your former boss, Congressman Shimkus, yesterday. The last person I talked to on this topic, I believe. It's very convoluted. So how do we know really going forward what's in the future when it comes to the internet?
It's not just this topic. The last person you talked to, you believe.
No,
every single time I've been on with you, that's you.
Good point.
You're like the dog in the movie Up. Squirrel.
Good point. Very, very good point. But that wasn't the question. Way to deflect. That's good media training. Net neutrality. Where are we on this?
I appreciate the question, McGraw.
You betcha.
I really do. Net neutrality is, rules that were set to go in place are not going in place. So those who think the world is going to come to an end today because proposed rules were never implemented are going to have a rude awakening when we all survive.
Right.
Here's my issue. No one is saying that any company is going to be allowed to throttle the internet service of any other customer. And frankly, the marketplace in my hometown of Taylorville, I live in a town of 11,000 people. We have 3 internet service providers. And when I have a problem and an issue about net neutrality or ISP issues, you know who I call? I call my local ISP because these are 2 guys that graduated from my high school. They started a dial-up company years ago, moved it into satellite, and then they decided a few years ago, we're going to line our hometown with fiber, and then we're going to do a unique thing by actually asking people to sign up for our 1 gig service, and then they'll be the first ones to get it. And we now have 1 gig service in my hometown of Taylorville. Net neutrality, this issue came up. I called Adam and Billy, my 2 friends who are entrepreneurs, and I said, what do you think? They said the net neutrality regulations that were going to be implemented would have 0 effect on their ability to provide service. Now, I go into larger communities, and larger communities, they have agreements where they limit the competition in their hometown because of cable franchise agreements.
Right.
If you want to protest somebody, don't have the federal government put its heavy hand into our ISPs and into internet connectivity in our communities, especially my hometown. Don't mess with Taylorville when we have that many choices and that speed. But if you want to protest, go to your local governments. And when they have a franchise agreement coming up with a cable operator, go say, we want choices. If you don't have choices now, that's where you should start. Don't ask the federal government to fix it.
We've got about 30 seconds. Your thoughts on this historic meeting in Singapore?
I was in favor of President Obama opening up Cuba. I'm glad that President Trump sat down with Kim Jong-un. just like with Cuba, I'm not convinced that Kim Jong-un is going to live up to that end of the bargain. But the sheer fact that they put an agreement together, I think it's a good first step.
Are you playing softball Thursday?
Baseball. It's real baseball.
Oh, it's real baseball. I apologize.
Yes, I am. We'll be ready.
All right, good. Thanks for coming in. You're always welcome here. Congressman Rodney Davis from the 13th District in Illinois, Republican. And is this the first game back since the shooting? This is the second year.
We had the shooting the day before the game last year, and
so
we played the game
the
next day, and now this is our first anniversary
year back.
this year.
Have a good time.
This week.
Yeah, have a good one.